When you discovered the law of attraction, you started to believe anything was possible. Life got better, much better. Now you want more, but it's not working. That's where the Manifest It Now show comes in. If you've been waiting for someone who can teach you the practical application to manifest quicker and easier while having more, turn the volume up, because the dynamic duo, Cassie Parks and Ginny Gain, are ready to teach you how to live the law of attraction like they do. It's time to laugh and learn.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Manifest It Now. I'm here with Cassie Parks.
And I'm here with Ginny Gain.
Our topic for today is how to manifest something when you feel desperate.
This is such a good topic.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it came from someone in the Manifest It Now podcast community. So, I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, we love your guys' questions. If you have them and you're joining the community on Facebook, make sure you're answering those questions, because questions is what inspires all of this conversation. This is the co-creative part. Someone in our group asked a question the other day, and it just led to so many other things that other members in the group were like, oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, that's so great. This is so great. And that's how the process works. So we are very appreciative of those questions.
Absolutely.
What are you excited about, Cass?
Oh, man, so much, everything. I am excited about, we're still getting the pool up, and I'm excited for when it's up. I'm also excited, it's a whole new level of learning and figuring things out, which is fun. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be home for a little while and get to unpack my house. There's been a couple reasons that I've been away.
You've been a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, I have been. It was very quick move-in, and so I'm excited to get to play and plan and make things what I want, and I'm excited about our event. And what? Yeah, and nest. Yes. Yeah. So I'm just excited about everything, and I'm so excited about my business and my clients. They're rocking it on such a deep level, and that's so much fun.
That's exciting. Every part, yeah. Cassie's going to mention every part of her life that she's excited about.
I am. Feel free, Jenny. What are you excited about?
Well, I'm most excited right now because I'm going to go play my first soccer game tonight.
Yay!
And I haven't played in probably over a decade, and it's been a way, or I'm looking forward to it because it's a way to create a social community and meet some more people here. So I'm looking forward to that part as well. It's just going to be hot, guys. Even though it's in the evening, it's going to be hot. I'm not used to this, running around in the humidity, but I'll survive.
That's so true. Oh, yay. I'm excited for you. Yeah.
Do you want to... Oh, let's talk about our event. Where can people go to find out?
manifestitnowlive.com. And I will tell you, if you looked it up in years past, you're going to have to clear your cache, right? So if you get it's because it's cached on your computer, clear it out and type it in again, or type it in on a new device.
Cassie has to tell me that all the time. I'm like, it's the old one. She's like, clear your cache. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be amazing. Pretty much every time I walk into my living room space, which is I love my house because you walk in and there's it feels like a landing area. It's the place you get to come in, and I'm excited. We're getting stuff moved around, so it's going to be all zen and the way I want you to feel when you walk in the house. So then you go up a couple stairs and you're in the main area. And so every time I walk up into the main area, I think about our event, and I'm just so excited to have people and to get to talk and connect and create that energy. So come join us.
Yeah, and we picked our place for dinner, and it's going to be super special and elegant and lovely.
Yes. Oh, so amazing. I love it.
All right, so do you want to read the listener question, to kind of get us started off? Okay.
All right. So it says, manifesting a house. We sold our house and are in an apartment on a 6-month lease and starting to feel desperate because we don't want to sign another lease. How do you not feel desperate when you are? I don't want to make a bad decision.
Okay, Okay, so many things I would pull out of even that question. But,
right. You want to start there? Okay.
But
well, I think we should pull them out, right? Like,
okay.
So the question really is, how do you not feel desperate when you are? Everything else is what's fueling the story that you don't want to be true. Mm-hmm. Right? So we have fear of, I don't want to make a bad decision. Like the means like, this is like heavy and I'm taking it on and just creating not good feelings about it, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so I would start there. Like everything that feels like a problem or everything that you want to do differently is an opportunity. And it all gets created in the story. Even when you're trying to fix or do something better, you create the story when you start, like at the very beginning. So I would even shift this up a little bit.
I'm just going to reiterate what you said there, Cass. Everything that comes up that you think is a problem is always an opportunity.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that's where I'd start. Okay, like what's the opportunity here? The opportunity here is to be excited about a new home. Whether that's a bigger house, whether that's a lower payment so you have more money for other things like travel or whatever it is, whether it's a new space to start in. Like there's so many opportunities here. And that's where you want to start to put the focus on, right?
Yeah. And bringing it to the opportunity for you to grow.
Yes.
The opportunity for you to direct your focus, the opportunity for you to step into your power, for you to feel a certain way regardless of what is showing up for you. Do you know how powerful it feels to be able to stand and say, like, I can thrive in all conditions. Like, what happens in my life doesn't determine how I feel. I choose how I feel. And what an opportunity to practice trusting. Like, we are here, like we're creators. We're here to be a creator. We're here to witness and be a part and experience that journey unfolding of the desire to the physical manifestation of it. We're here for that whole part. And it's the fun part. What an opportunity to know what I want, to be straight up in the middle of contrast and to trust and to then watch it fall into place. Like that's an opportunity. There's so many opportunities with this one situation. We could keep going on and on.
Yeah. So much opportunity. And we miss that. You miss that when you are sitting in the desperation, right? Mm-hmm. There's like, and I don't know all the circumstances of this, but like signing another 6-month lease it doesn't, I would ask you to ask yourself, like, what's the desperation, right? Like, what's the worst thing that has to happen if you sign another 6-month lease?
Right. Yeah. Like, is that the end of the world?
Yeah. Is that going to be, or is that just another opportunity, right?
Yeah. I love that. So one of the things we talked about just briefly before this episode was discussing how one of the things Cass will do will be like, get comfortable with that kind of worst case scenario. Mm-hmm. And I think that's super powerful because, and my way of saying it is like having your backup plan. So
right. Yeah.
Is understanding that, okay, well, I know something is going to happen. Either we're going to get to the end of this 6 months and we're going to sign a lease, or we're not going to sign a lease. We're going to find our perfect house, or there's other options as well, but something's going to happen. So what's the worst thing? What is something I would consider the worst thing? And if we're like, okay, it would be this and this. And if you kind of make peace with that, saying it will be temporary. It's not the worst thing. So you find alignment with that. A couple things happen. You let yourself relax, and then you create space for you to shift out of desperation. Because sometimes that's what it takes. Like, we're guided to a less ideal situation so that we can just feel a little bit better, so we can start focusing on what we really want or what we want more of. Does that make sense, Cass?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
And when you're feeling desperate, like you're feeling desperate because you're resisting what is. right? Like the truth seems to be that the what is that there's a couple months left on a lease. I don't know the exact. There's a couple months left on a lease, and you haven't found a new house yet, right? Like that is what is, and oh man, like all that runs through my mind when I say that is like, oh, it's because your perfect house isn't ready yet. Like
yeah, like when you know how this works, it's just so like you can tune into that. Oh, it's like we know it's happening. We know. Right. What you want is coming. Just get out of the way. Get off of, off of desperation. I think too, one of the things that makes it seem so intense, and we use words like desperation or tragic or these things, is that you think, I don't want to make the wrong decision. Right. And as soon as I hear that, I'm like, you cannot make the wrong decision. Like it's literally impossible. You are an eternal being. You are always constantly unfolding. And there are decisions that will take you one way or the other way. And there's no wrong path. And so when you take that pressure off yourself that I have to get it right or perfect this time, it's so much easier to feel your guidance. It's so much easier to tune into the energy that actually is going to get you where you want.
Mm-hmm. And there's, like you said it, but there's no wrong decision because there's just a decision that moves you to a different point. And you can always, you can't go back, but you could go to a different place, right? So I think of it a lot like a choose your own adventure. You know, I think of like the multiverse is like a choose your own adventure, right? Just because you chose, you know, like let's use the house, like just because you choose this house, if it wasn't your dream house, like there's still a way to get back to that house. Yeah. It's just the path looks different. All that happens is like the path looks different. And so we make a choice where we're just creating new opportunities, new possibilities. That's all making a choice does. It doesn't, there are certain things that, scientifically, like we collapse realities, but at the same time, we're creating those other realities, right? Yeah.
Do you think that it comes into play? I can kind of see this question coming up, but the wrong choice would mean more struggle, more pain, more things I don't like, more hardship of some sort. And that's kind of what's defining, or maybe more money going out or something. And that's all playing into the I don't want to make the wrong choice. What would you say to that?
I would say, yes, that's probably true. And get clear about what that means. Like, so if everything Jenny just listed is what I would ask myself, if I was this person, I would say, okay, why am I afraid to make the wrong choice? Okay, because I'm afraid it's going to cost me thousands of dollars. I'm afraid that like I won't be where I need to be. I'm afraid that whatever, my kid's school won't be great. I'm just throwing these out there. I have no idea. Right. So whatever that list of things are that makes that I'm afraid to make a bad choice, because it's not about making the bad choice. It's about the consequences of the choice. Yes, right.
Exactly.
And we're afraid of those. And so whatever that list of things is, I would first and foremost get clear on that. And then I would start putting energy towards what I do want. So if I'm afraid of thousands of dollars, I would just start like it works out like, and I have all the money, I have more money than I need. Right? Like whatever the choice is, whatever the path it leads, it's the best financial decision. I just start telling myself like it's the best, like the financial opportunity comes from however the path unfolds. Yeah. Right? And I would say, if it has to do with schools, I would say I would put energy and focus not in this sort of generic, I want my kid to go to a good school, but I would list out what's the experience. And the experience has nothing to do with like the rating of the school.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can, so right? You can have any experience in any ratings because it's your choice. But if you're fearing a bad experience, you're going to help your child create a not fun experience. Yes. And if you go into this and you say, I want my child to be challenged. I want my child to make good friendships. I want my child to learn good lessons. I want my child to grow up and feel X, Y. I want him or her to feel this way when he walks into school. All of those don't have anything to do with a rating.
Yeah.
It might help, like it maybe not. Sometimes I don't think that's true. It might be easier in some places, and it's still your responsibility and your possibility to create whatever you want.
Yes. This is like the most amazing opportunity to be deliberate. So no matter what path, which side of the decision or which decision, you always get to create your experience. So in this case, when you're thinking about what you want in the future, make it about the experience. Make it less about the details, and know that I get to create the exact experience I want. Take away what you think the specifics are and say, I want if it's that example with the child's school, exactly what Cassie said. What do you want with that experience? What do you want with the financial experience? What do you want with the ease and the smooth and what do you want with the relationship experience with the people you're working with? Create your experience, and then the decision will become obvious. It's like pumps me up so much, because we have so much power to create our reality, like create our experience regardless of the conditions. And we so often get caught up in limiting what we can experience based on what we're looking at, what we can see, hear, taste, touch, and smell, what ideas have been going along. Oh, that I don't want to live in that area because of that. I don't want to go to that school because I've heard this. Like, break free of these limiting things and just own that you get to create your experience, period.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want you to we can both do it actually, but when you say, I know what it means, but focus on the experience and not the details, let's give a little more information on that in case anyone's not clear.
Okay, so let's look at this specific example. So they want a new house. So wherever you're going to be living after this 6 months, you're going to be having an experience. You want to wake up excited. You want to feel safe in your surroundings. You want to feel energized. For me, I'd like to have open spaces. I like to see windows. I like to feel a lightness in the air. All of this is about the experience. I like to feel warm. I have easy access to things. I have space. This is all experience. That experience exists everywhere I go. The house I live in or the apartment I live in doesn't determine the experience I have. That's present in every place I could live. What about you? You give an example, Cass.
So the experience is how you want to feel. If there's other people involved, how you want their experience to go, but the experience is how you feel in there and what happens, and all the things that you want to feel good, right? That's the experience. The details is how long you're in this apartment. It's the length of the lease. It's all these other things. So for me, I always want my experience to feel easy and good and fun, right? And so that could happen, we can just equate this, because I happen to have just bought a house. So you heard there are multiple iterations of this possible house, and every time, the condo was not that big. It was big enough, but I could create that experience and I could get really good at creating that experience in there when it was like, oh yeah, that house isn't going to work out. Okay, great. Let's even create more. It's an opportunity to create more of what we want right here. Go ahead.
I just like that statement. There's an opportunity to create more of what we want right here. So like you're amping up your vibe, you're amping up your experience, and it's not based on your conditions. Coming back, the same principle. So even where you are in your apartment, if there's any time left on your lease, start experiencing and practicing what it feels like to wake up and have that experience exactly where you are. And almost like as much as possible, forget that you have to move or that something's going to change. Yeah.
Right. And from experience, like that, it was like, that's so the way that it happens, right? Like when you dive in, then you're like, oh man, okay, but we are moving. Like,
yeah.
Oh, this is happening super fast, right?
Yeah.
And so just, dive into that. And so what that looks like on a very concrete level.
You totally were like, oh, I'm so settled. We just did this wall, we did this room, and we're moving.
Right. And now we're going. And so what that looks like on a practical level is if it feels small, like you don't wake up and be like, oh, I hate that there's not enough closet space, or whatever. You take that as an opportunity to maybe get rid of clothes that you're not wearing, right? Or you take it as an opportunity to pack some things up and say, okay, I'm excited to bring these out later. Or you make it feel more spacious and you focus on that. So you find, you create one space that feels spacious and that you love. And when you wake up, you look at that space and you're like, oh, that's beautiful. I love it. It makes me take a deep breath. Like, you give yourself a new focus point. For everything that you're focusing on that you don't want, you create and you make it a habit, because all it is, it's a habit to wake up and say, this is too small, or I don't like this, or I wish there was more light, right?
Yeah.
But you can also make it a habit to focus on what you want more of.
I love the little ideas, like little tips. Some of the things I've used in a practical sense. So you guys know one of the things I say is like, I'm surrounded by nature. So I have put, if you guys haven't seen me on video, birch tree wallpaper on my wall. And I have plants in my room. Super easy. And now I have a little bit of like, I'm surrounded by nature. Another great thing is to keep like picking little areas where, if you want super clean windows, so you're kind of experiencing the outside, if that's something you want. Or you don't need to spend a lot of money or make any like permanent changes to help support the feel of the house you want. There can be really little things like little carpets, pillows, blankets, pictures, things like that. Plants are just such a great one, that are going to give you that feel. Cups, mugs, like dishes. Oh, if you are waiting to get your brand new dishes or your favorite ones until you get in your perfect house, and you go buy a set of bowls, and now every time you go to use them, you're like, oh yeah, these are my dream dishes.
Yeah. There's so many opportunities. And when you start looking at it that way, you realize how much energy you're putting into what you don't want, or you have been.
Yeah. And trying to fix the problem.
Right.
And I think, tell me if you agree, Cass, until you actually experience this, because like we're trained to go fix the problem and to figure out the plan, and if something's wrong, go fix it, right? And make sure you know all the steps to get there and how it's going to happen. And until you actually experience it in the other way, you won't actually know that it's real or that it works like that. So until you actually don't figure out the how, and you do everything we've been talking about, you don't I don't know how to better explain that other than we're so trained to fix the problem. And until you trust yourself enough, or you just take a risk and trust that this works, and you don't know that it actually works. It'll so change your whole life.
It will. And you have to do it. Like, you have to do it before you have the concrete evidence, right?
Yes.
And I had a client the other day, or yesterday I was interviewing, and it was such this, like, she has this new depth because she had to do some of this. She said, okay, I'm just going to trust that. I'm just going to trust that. I'm going to trust this intuition that says, don't fix that right now. Right. And, it goes against like all the things, right? And then realizing like, oh yeah, that's why I had that intuition, right? If we never listen, we don't get it. And so on a practical sense, if I was this person, I would probably stop looking for a house unless it's inspired.
Same. So same. And just to clarify, that means unless you're excited, like really excited about going to look at a house or searching the internet or talking to your realtor or whatever that action is, unless you feel excitement or a pull, then the better action or the more productive action is to stay still or to do something fun. Go do something fun that you like.
Yes. So stay still or go do something fun until you feel. So for Jenny, inspired action, I think we haven't talked about this in a while, but I know for Jenny, it's really excitement means it's inspired action. For me, it's like, I should open up Zillow right now.
Right.
Or, I should just go see what's in this area. For me, it's almost neutral. That's my inspired action. But I know for Jenny, it's very excitement. So part of it is learning, but the way that you learn it is you be still. So you get out of action. And for a while, it just means you be still, right? And you're going to be like, oh, but I was still for like half a day and nothing's happened. Well, yeah, that's okay. Just be still. Stop looking for houses. Stop opening up the app every time you turn around. And this actually happened for a client.
Turn off your notifications.
Turn off your notifications, right? Like I had a client and they just decided, so they've tried to move out of this house that they were renting for 2 years. Like they've re-signed a lease for 2 years. And this year they were like, we're moving, but they didn't look for a house. And they just happened to, in the perfect moment, got a ding of a new house, were really close by, went over and saw it. There happened to be the people there, the guy that was actually building it. And they talked to him, and like 30 days from that, they own the house. Every other time, it's like they always miss the house, but you know, they're always looking. Like in this moment, it was like, oh yeah, this is our house. Okay, here we go. And it was so easy. Yeah. But they weren't in action all the time.
Mm-hmm. And it's a very different vibe to be in, going and looking, because at the same time as you're looking, you're also activating, we don't have it. Right. But if you're just like, we're moving, we love our home, that's the energy you want to draw in the answer, or the solution in that energy of like, yeah, we got it. Yeah, we're moving.
Yes. And we're going to love it, right? And again, when you manifest,
we're going to love it because we love where we are now too.
Yes. And when you bring the energy of like desperation and you don't want something to be anymore, like you're just going to recreate that.
Yes.
It'll look different at first, but eventually you get in and you realize it's like the same.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know what it was exactly in the question, but there was something that was like pushing against, and I wanted to pull that out. It was like, we don't want to sign a lease. So if that's very active in your vibration, and we don't want this, we don't want this, we don't want this, guess what? That might be something that comes, an opportunity that comes to you just because that's where your attention is.
Yes. And we touched on this, but I think we should maybe wrap up with this point. If you don't want to sign a lease, if that's like your first thought, my advice, and I think I'll ask Jenny, but I think hers is similar, is get comfortable. Just accept, be like, we're going to sign another lease, and get really happy about that. Find the way to get excited about that and see the possibilities and the opportunities in that. Yeah. And because, you know, like Jenny said, get comfortable with the worst case scenario. I always get comfortable with the backup plan and worst case scenario. That's how you do that. If that's the thing that feels like that's the worst thing that could happen is we have to sign another lease, awesome. Like go get excited about it and find the opportunities and the possibilities and invest the time in making that okay. Because once it's not something that you're pushing against, it's not something that you're creating.
Yes. Like, I think so many people hear that and they're like, but I don't want to accept that. I don't want to get comfortable with that, Cassie, because it means I'm settling then. Then I'm going to manifest that. But that's not the case. That isn't what energetically or vibrationally happens. You deliberately getting comfortable with that is taking you to a higher vibration. You can't go from 0 to 10. Right? So go from 0 to 2. Once you're there, then you're going to be able to see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you can go there. But it's not, when you get comfortable with that, you know, backup plan or worst case scenario, that does not mean you're like sacrificing or giving up on what you want. You're giving up your resistance against what you don't want. And that will open up a whole new world.
Yes.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Great. So I think that was
keep us updated if this was your question.
Yeah, we would love to hear. Post in the group.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
Right,
Any final thoughts?
No, I'm good.
I'm good. You just said them all.
All right. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye.
Go be awesome.
Thank you for joining us on the Manifest It Now show, where you learn how to leverage the law of attraction to manifest your dreams. Now that you're inspired, share the love and review us on iTunes. While you're there, remember to subscribe.